Let's start, ma'am. And
Yes, Saida.
okay.
Can I share my PPT?
No, ma'am. I have an intro speech. I'll finish that and then I'll give.
Please, 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 please. Go ahead.
Hello and welcome. I am Saida here from Silray. Silray is an educational organization with a mission to make education available, engaging, and relevant. Over the last 9 years, we have worked with 15,000 children, providing learning experience in over 80 different areas of learning. We have partnered with schools, government organizations, and a variety of learning organizations in conceptualizing and creating their learning infrastructures, a pioneer in implementing NEP extensively. Silray provides a complete learning journey outside of school. As a part of Silray, I am happy to have you here for our next webinar in the Education in Changing webinar series. This series brings together exceptional educators, researchers, and enthusiasts and empower synergetic collaborations to increase the reach, impact, implementation of creative breakthrough ideas. Today, we have Radhika Kamath here to speak us on digital learning, the need of an hour. Radhika Kamath is the founder of Raga, the world of music. She is a state level winner in Carnatic music and a professional singer. She conceptualized the idea with a simple belief that music is for all and can be learned at any age with minimal resources. She also works as an assistant professor at Jyotirniwas College Autonomous, Bangalore. She has completed a master's degree in business administration, specializing in human resource management, and has also completed a master's in commerce, specializing in marketing. She has 13 years of experience in teaching and 3 years of corporate experience in the field of HR. Her interests are to introduce a curriculum where students work with honest, practical, and hypothetical situations. She helps students articulate a clear purpose of learning and make clear outcomes for all the lessons and activities. She strongly believes that the hybrid mode of learning helps the current students to understand concepts more quickly and in a short period of time. Feel free to drop questions on the topic and share your struggles and experiences. We will answer your questions by the end. We will send you the session recording to your mail ID. I hope you have an engaging and enriching session ahead. Over to you, Radhika ma'am.
Thank you, Saida. First of all, let me thank the entire Silray team for giving me this opportunity to share my views on digital learning. And special thanks to Saida. Saida has been my student for 3 years in Jyotirniwas College. So there is a personal connect with me and Saida here. So I know there are a few parents here, a lot of stakeholders here who have joined me today. Whatever little ideas that I have about digital learning and the experiences that I, as a parent, has gone through, I would like to share with each and every one of you all. So thank you, Saida, once again. And let me quickly share my PPT here. Saida, is the screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
I hope it's in the full mode. I hope you're
Yes.
able to see it. Right. So, as Saida has told you all, today I'm here to discuss with you about digital learning. I have around 14 years of teaching experience in Jyotinivas College, and I work for the Commerce and Management Department. I'm also the founder of Ragas, the World of Music, which is in a total digital platform. And I'm training over 50 students with 8 different batches in vocal Carnatic music. So that brings me to this digital learning aspect altogether. So, just to give you a brief, we all know what exactly is meant by digital learning. It's nothing but the learning facilitated by technology that gives some element of control over time, place, path, or the pace to the learners as well as to the students. So now we all know after the COVID-19 scenario, we have made everything possible with the help of the digital technology, isn't it? Education has really continued well, and we did not stop it at any point of time. We came out with different ideas, we came out with various platforms wherein the digital learning was very well possible for all our little children. So, why is actually digital learning important to the children? Even now the physical classrooms are back, everything is back to normal, but still, we are not leaving the digital learning. Why is it so? One of the major reasons is that digital learning can be accessed from anywhere across. And moreover, and now what happens is students are given the opportunities not only to pursue their existing education, but also to do something much beyond that. Like, say, for example, when you look into the college students itself, we encourage them to take up a lot of certification programs which are available in the online platforms, and we do consider it as a part of their internal assessment marks. So the students are also motivated to take up various courses which will give them certifications, and at the end of the day, it adds on value to their resumes. So what happens is, as parents or as teachers, it is important that we create a digital mindset in the minds of the students about the digital learning. Make them understand the need for keeping themselves updated by watching various educational videos, by making them part of various online quiz programs, by giving access to various certification programs, and so on. So these days, we all know that learning through digital platforms has definitely helped the students to have a continued education, and definitely their experience throughout. As an all rounder, there is a lot of improvement because now they have the access of both online as well as offline learning platforms. Now, this is something which all of us are very well aware of, digital learning as well as traditional learning. Of course, there are pros and cons to both the aspects. We have many benefits to digital learning. At the same time, there are a lot of demerits also to digital learning, isn't it? Some of the merits are displayed here in the slide. Like, see, digital learning saves a lot of money, and moreover, there is no travel required from anywhere across the globe. Digital learning is possible, and moreover, topics can be discussed very specifically, concisely, and students can get themselves trained from anywhere across, even while traveling, even while they are at their homes. 24 bar 7 digital learning is possible. And moreover, digital learning is faster when compared to a physical classroom, wherein one teacher interacts with, let's say, maybe 30 children at a time, maybe 50 at a time, maybe 80 or 100 at a time. There is always a constraint there. How much of a personal connect is actually possible? There is many educational platforms online. They have tried to connect with each and every student possible. Like, say, for example, platforms like Upgrad, platforms like Unacademy, they're all specialized in it. There is a one-to-one connect. There is another platform called as Brilliant. What they generally do is they will send the videos to the children. the children will be going through these lesson plans very effectively. There is a one-to-one contact with the teacher here. Of course, with the help of the digital technology, the students are able to clarify their doubts, that too in the languages of their preferences. Much elaborate examples are being shared, case studies are being shared, and of course there is a one-to-one connect which is possible with the help of the digital technology now, isn't it? All right. So coming to, as I mentioned, these are some of the features of traditional learning and the blended learning. As I mentioned, each one has its own pros and cons. Of course, talking about one of the major demerits of um, digital learning is that students have forgotten how to socialize. The kind of relationships that they build, the kind of physical habits that they have, like, see, when you go to a school, you are getting involved not only in the academic activities, of course, in the various other activities as well, whether it be the physical education, it might be dance, music, anything. So, what happens is in the digital learning, there is definitely a drawback there because you're not getting to see the teacher, you're not going to shake hands with each other, you're not getting to meet your friends, go to the canteen together, have food together. That kind of a personal connect is not there in the digital platform. This is something which all of us are aware of. Now, some of the reasons why digital learning is very well preferred by the students, some of the major reasons is that they are able to learn anything very fast. And moreover, it is available 24 bar 7. Like, say, simple example to connect with myself. I am a PhD scholar who is pursuing my research in human resource management, and I'm in my final year right now. So anything that I have a doubt, in case of data collection, in case of primary, secondary sources that I want to refer, everything is happening online. Everything. In the olden days, people used to struggle a lot. They used to literally spend hours together in the library, go through the different written materials. It used to be really challenging. It used to be very challenging. But now everything is on your fingertips. And that's one of the major reasons students prefer the digital content right now. And anything, for example, they want to submit assignments online, that is possible. They want to write exams online, that again is made possible. E-textbooks are available online. Everything is happening online now, isn't it? Any doubts they want to clarify with the help of chat boxes, they are able to clarify their doubts and they are able to share their knowledge amongst each other. So all of that has definitely helped the students a lot. uh, uh, and that is one of the major reasons that they prefer digital contents now. Another one example that I would like to share, this is regarding the school students, especially the primary children. Informations are so very well available online. Let's talk about maths. We all know about the tables. In the olden days, how did we learn tables? Tables of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, probably till 12. We all had to learn it by heart. But now, if you actually look into the various YouTube videos available, the different tricks that are being taught on how to learn the tables easily, how to solve the problems easily. Of course, this is one of the major reasons why kids are getting attracted towards digital learning as such. Now, these are some of the benefits of digital learning. Firstly, it has a blended approach which is possible. So students now prefer a blended approach which has a combination of both offline as well as online technology. Similarly, students prefer interactive learning through the digital platforms like, say, group discussions or probably any kind of group meetings, or maybe motivating each other, giving responsibility to each other, problem solving, decision making. All that is possible even through the digital platforms now. Another thing is it facilitates authentic learning. So basically, students are able to explore, discuss, meaningfully construct concepts that involves the real world problems. I'm sorry. Then coming to the flexibility and the adaptability of the digital learning. So digital learning resources can be quickly adapted to meet the students' requirements, teachers' requirements, as well as to meet the module needs. So that's one of the major benefit of digital learning as such. Then digital learning is also inclusive and equitable. So now, irrespective of whether you are able to afford it or not, there are so many students, even in the rural areas. I would be showing you the statistics here. Even from the rural areas, people, even with the help of a smartphone, they are able to access the digital platforms, get through various certification programs. They are able to get educated well. It is saving a lot of their time, finances, travel times, and so on. So, that barrier to education is not there. Digital learning has helped us overcome that barrier to education. These are some of the major advantages of digital education for the students. As I have mentioned, it makes the students really smart. Nowadays, every child, even a 5-year-old child, is able to operate these digital technologies very easily. They have become very tech savvy now. And there is a personalized learning. If you want a particular topic to be explained, you have an access to the digital devices, you have an access to learn each and everything online. So, these are the teachers are also benefiting here. The parents are also benefiting here because the student is able to grasp enormous amount of knowledge when compared to how it used to be in the olden days. Some of the major challenges that our children face with the digital learning is that as parents, we are really concerned, not only as parents, even as teachers or elders or guardians, we all have this fear of safety precautions. How much does a child know about the various attacks that happen in the digital learning, like, say, for example, cyberbullying or any kind of harassments that take place? Is your a child free to come and talk to you very openly? The problem here is every parent out or every guardian out is very busy in their own lives. Of course, we do dedicate a lot of time to our children. But the question here is, first of all, children are continuously on their devices, either for their curriculums, otherwise, even during their leisure times. They end up playing games, they do online chatting with their friends. At the end of the day, the question here is, how safe are they? What if the information is getting hacked? What if their emails are getting hacked? There is a big time question about the safety precautions to be taken care of, isn't it? Another thing is, as I mentioned, there is a loss of interest or motivation. The presentation skills of the children have declined a big time. That has declined mainly because that physical exposure has reduced, especially in the past 2 years' time, where the students were refrained from going to school because of the COVID-19 pandemic. They had to stay back. Look at the drastic difference that your child has had in terms of academics, in terms of communication skills, in terms of presentation skills. There is a lot of a decline in these activities because the students were continuously on their digital devices. There was no personal connect with the teachers nor with the other fellow mates in the class. Motivation, see, when done directly as well as when done through a digital platform, it makes a lot of difference. A direct motivation, especially for a small child, a direct motivation always brings in a lot of difference, isn't it? Similarly, as I mentioned, the mental health is deteriorating big time. Now, simple example, in our old days, let's say, we used to remember the phone numbers. Let's say earlier, mobile phones were not there, landlines were there. Every number used to be by heart in our minds, or probably we used to make a note of it in the, telephone directories that we have. But still, our remembering skills were really good when compared to how it is right now. Now everything is in the digital platform, everything. So the mental health of the children is also deteriorating because of the digital learning. And there is a drastic difference that has been witnessed, especially by the teachers, because the students have lost the practice of writing. You might have noticed this. Handwriting is really bad, and on top of it, students have lost that their speed in which they are writing, and they are unable to write, let's say, 3 hours continuous exam. They are unable to write at one stretch. Even the amount of information that they write, it's not in a proper order, it's not grammatically correct. Children have forgotten the spellings, for that matter, that writing skills are really in a big trauma now because of the digital technology as such. Now it's, mainly the difference has been witnessed because of the COVID-19 pandemic. And we all know COVID-19 pandemic, it was a big shock, especially to the education. Imagine the children who were in their 10th grade and the 12th grade. Parents had so much of anxieties and worries on how will the children cross this. They would have had lot of dreams about what needs to be done in future, what would happen during the exams, what if my child falls sick, what will happen if he is not getting to interact with the teacher directly, especially the science students, wherein labs become extremely important. The presence in the laboratories becomes extremely important. All of that was questioned at the time of the COVID-19 pandemic. And the learning was a big halt, at least for a specific period of time. Attachment towards the school, attachment towards the teachers was not there. Similarly, many students, especially those who could not afford the digital technology, they really had to face a lot of problem. Many students had even stopped their education for good. All right, child labor, child marriage, all that was witnessed mainly at the time of this COVID-19 pandemic, because they just could not afford to accept the digital technology, get imbibed with the digital technology. They just could not afford it. Similarly, if you look into the health of the student, mental health was affected, the physical health was affected. How often was the child doing physical exercises apart from what you do at home? Little bit, isn't it? So nutrition was worsening, the immunity level of the child was falling. All of that is something which each parent or each teacher, each school authority would have seen in their students, isn't it? All right, so this was the scenario. You can see before COVID-19, traditional learning, we had, even though we were into traditional learning, we had an increased usage of internet. But now, if you actually see, even the teachers are very well versed as to how to accept the digital technology, through Google Meets, or maybe through Microsoft Teams, or maybe through, Zoom Meets, WebEx, and so on. Various platforms were identified in order to make teaching and learning more easier and interesting. So there is a blended approach, of course, after the COVID-19 pandemic. Now the current scenario is such that we are into both. We are into the physical classes, as well as we are accepting the online technology also very wholeheartedly. See, if you look into the percentage of the children who did the online learning activities, especially during COVID-19 scenario in the rural areas, the percentage of children, how low is the percentage of the children who have adapted the digital learning, and how well did they continue with their education? Look into the percentage. Most of the students have dropped out their education. They have stopped it, maybe for a period of 1 year, or maybe for a period of 2 years. Parents were losing their jobs. Many had cut down on their salaries. These were all reasons behind many students not able to take up education ahead. So these are some of the problems which are faced by our children, not only during the COVID times, even now. So children spend a lot of time online for socialization as well as entertainment purposes, without realizing the fact that there is a lot of online abuse which takes place, or online bullying that takes place. So if you actually see, with one of the research that was conducted by Center of Social Research, which is an NGO in New Delhi, a 14-year-old girl from the prominent Delhi school, she shared about her nightmare of having her school email hacked. It is not only about email hacking. There is a lot more to be discussed here when it comes to online gaming platforms. I'm sure many children these days, they play a lot of games online without understanding that there are a lot of scamming that happens behind, a lot of unwanted personal messages gets popped up, links gets popped up, and a child which should not witness a certain aspect of it, they are getting access to these links very easily. So a lot of unwanted personal messages are being sent to the children, and a lot of money related messages, personal messages are being sent, and because of which our children are basically getting negatively impacted because of the digital learning. Post pandemic times have made it even more daunting to leave the digital devices. Now, all of us know our children are back to schools and colleges, but at the end of the day, they are not able to live without a digital device. Somewhere or the other, they are still connected with the digital devices. Maybe mobile phones, maybe laptops, it can be any kind of an electronic gadget. Why is that kind of an addiction being developed in the children? It's a question, isn't it? Frankly speaking, children are now in a very confused and a lost stage. They have a lot of mood swings, especially at a certain age. They have a lot of mood swings, anxieties, frustrations. The only way out here is to talk to your children very openly, not only about the academic related activities, talk to them about what's happening in school, share your stories with them, listen to them. How many of us have the listening capabilities? We are all good in communicating. I myself, I keep talking a lot rather than listening, which is actually one of my weaknesses. Every parent or every teacher need to understand that it's very, very important for us to listen more than to talk. It is important that we listen to them openly. Let our children feel free to discuss. It can be the smallest of the smallest things, doesn't matter. It is important that we give them a platform to discuss very, very openly. These are all some of the problems that we have seen. See, again, the risk of cyberbullying, online discrimination. Almost 62% of the digital users did not know where to find help if they were cyberbullied. They did not know. So, here again, the solution here is to talk to your children beyond the academic curriculum, especially not only during the COVID times, post COVID also. Now we are in the post COVID stage. Still, it is very important that you connect with your child, because children are now exposed to so many things. What is happening in the school, probably through the digital platforms, they are exposed to so many things now. It's highly important that you connect with your child a lot, for which the participation from all the stakeholders is extremely important, so that our children are having a safe learning environment. All right, so what are the things that we all have to do as parents, as teachers, probably as the guardians? What do we have to do? Teachers, first of all, need to unlearn the old pedagogy and the approaches. And the social and the emotional learning methodology can equip the teachers to become more allies rather than just the traditional instructors. As I mentioned, connect with them emotionally. Think empathetically. Each child would be facing different kinds of problems, and each child is different from one another. It is important that the teacher connects with the child socially and emotionally. Similarly, mental health becomes a very key aspect of all the challenges and vulnerabilities. So, rather than avoiding conversations about the emotions, it is important that you work towards building a safer space for your children. Talk to them openly about, probably about their schools, about their friends, what kind of activities they do, what kind of games they play online. Try and figure out what are the things and make them understand, create an awareness, which is highly important. Rather than scolding your child, this is something which most of the parents do, including me as a parent of two children. But it is, on the other side, it is important for us to understand that it is, you have to talk to your child and create an awareness in their minds as to what is good and what is bad. Similarly, educational institutions also should take up a lot of training programs for the students about internet safety and the kind of online threats that they are likely to witness, maybe through gaming. If you all know, a few years back, some of the online games which were really a big controversy, schools actually educated these children as to how to prevent themselves from playing these games or getting negatively impacted from these games and so on, isn't it? So the school curricula also should be revised to the current times by including online safety as well as the security guidelines. Similarly, government also should allocate certain funds in the education budget for the mental health professionals and to implement the social emotional learning tools. So this also would create a lot of difference, and probably with the help of a lot of helplines and portals, there would be more amount of cyber crimes that are getting reported, and the students will have an open access to all of this. They will be able to share their problems very easily. So coming to the digital tools in teaching and learning, we all know information and communication technology is one of the major driving force in transforming education. Everything is possible. I was talking to you about research. Me as a PhD research scholar, I am able to do everything online. Trust me, I'm able to do my review of literatures online. I'm able to do my data collection online. I'm able to do my statistical part online. So everything is happening with the help of the information and communications technology, which was not the scenario, let's say, 50 years back. That was not the situation. Now things are changing. As I mentioned, everything is in your fingertips. Now, teachers are definitely making use of a lot of digital learning tools like, say, Google Docs, Google Slides, Google Sheets, Google Classrooms. Assignments can be submitted online. A lot of video conferencing is being done. Virtual learning environments are being created. Similarly, webinars are being conducted for the students' benefit. Search engines. Similarly, the media sharing platform, message and media sharing platforms, video editing, Padlets, digital whiteboards, video cameras, and some of the specialized tools. Just to mention them, Kahoot is one of the very interactive quiz builder platforms. Likewise, WordPress, environmental sensors. These are all very popularly available digital learning tools which can be easily accessed both by the teachers as well as by the students. So these are some of the ways through which blended learning has made it really possible. By teachers are able to share their PDF documents, they are able to share their ebooks for the benefit of the students. They are able to share videos, live case studies with the students. They are able to play online games with the students, puzzles for the benefit of the students. All of that is definitely going to improve the mental capabilities of our little children. A lot of simulation exercises are being held online for the benefit of the students. Now, very lately, we need to understand about certain digital learning strategies. A lot of changes have been introduced in the education system, especially after the introduction of new education policy in 2020. So recently, the Ministry of Human Resource Development has been renamed as the Ministry of Education, and they have released a new education policy which would reshape the education system of India. So they have actually recommended the following initiatives, which involves a blended learning approach. It is not only about the traditional learning anymore, it requires a lot of blended learning approach. To name a few, pilot studies for digital education. This was one of their recommendations and initiatives. Pilot studies for digital education. So basically, the colleges and the universities, like say the NITs or probably the IGNOs, they are asked to conduct research on how to maximize the benefits of digital learning, which will include the findings of the most preferred format of e-content to decrease the risk of device addiction in students, which would be the most appropriate e-content which will help the students rather than getting addicted to these devices. Similarly, tools and methods. E-learning platforms such as Diksha will be extended for the teachers to provide a user-friendly interface. They will be updated with tools like a two-way audio and video interface that can help with conducting the classes and monitoring the progress of the students simultaneously. Likewise, training for the teachers. Trainings will be given to the teachers so that they can gain additional skills to manage the online platforms by themselves. It will focus on improving the student teacher engagement through various resources. Virtual labs, e-learning platforms like Diksha or Swayam, they are asked to create virtual labs wherein students will be able to practice the theoretical knowledge that they learn in the classrooms. These labs have tools for improving hands-on experience-based learning. Similarly, availability of courses in different languages for the students, especially of the rural areas, televisions, radios, and community radios will be used to telecast pre-recorded classes in their regional languages. This is making education possible beyond. Everybody is getting educated now, irrespective of whether you belong to a rural area or an urban area. So even the online content will be available for the students and the teachers in their mediums of instructions. This is going to enhance the teaching learning approaches even in the rural areas. Coming to the online assessments and examinations, initiatives will be taken to examine the performance of the students as per the updated standards of the digital education. The next point is digital repository, content creation and dissemination. So this basically include learning games and simulations, virtual realities and augmented realities. The user will provide a rating system to the public to analyze the quality and effectiveness of the various softwares that are available. Moreover, fun-based learning tools like gamification of Indian art and culture is created with operating instructions that will be available in different languages so that everybody can understand them easily. The next point, standards of online learning. So the standard of the content and the technology of the digital education is being done by the appropriate authorities. So these will enable the government to set guidelines for the classrooms, e-learning, and the methods of digital learning in India. Then blended models of learning. The traditional ways and the modes of learning will not be compromised while promoting the growth of the digital learning and education. So different modes of blended learning will be analyzed, and the ones which is the most appropriate method, it will replace the traditional modes of learning. Creating a dedicated unit of digital education, that was another initiative of MEP. So this will be established in the MHRD. It will look after the digital learning needs of both the schools as well as the colleges and the universities. It will comprise experts from the field of education, educational technology, administration, e-governance, digital pedagogy, and IT. To conclude, after doing a comparative study between the classroom study and the digital learning while it was carried out, the study revealed that digital learning has many benefits as compared to the conventional learning in the classroom environment. Though digital learning has several challenges, such as the lack of feedback of the students and the lack of proper technology to effectively conduct the online classes, these limitations can definitely be overcome by upgrading the e-learning systems and the use of online discussions forums and the new web-based softwares. Digital learning is beneficial to the students as well as to the tutors as well as to the institutions offering various courses and certification programs. So, from a personal perspective, I would highly recommend that digital learning be implemented in all the learning institutions, and research on how to improve this learning process should be carried out. Thank you all. That brings an end to the presentation. I'm open for questions.
Any questions from the participants for Radhika ma'am?
Yes, sir. How can I help you? James, sir? Um, I think
Yeah,
sir is on mute. Yes,
no,
sir.
now I'm okay. We have conducted several online classes during the pandemic because children didn't go to school. So
Right,
in the initial stages, I think the
right,
first few months, they were very eager to be on camera and to be attentive more.
right.
As time went on, I think the initial novelty just ran out, and then I've started to notice that they are not coming on camera. We are not really sure, if they're tuned in or not. They're, playing games on the other side,
Absolutely.
messages. So these are some challenges we are facing. But I was wanting to ask, when we've had several talks with the children, but they don't seem to really understanding the importance of coming on camera. Would you have any suggestions on what can we do to make sure that these children do come on camera? We tried punishment, we tried even gifts for them if they came. Several tricks we have tried, but nothing seemed to work. So
Sir, I can totally connect with what you are saying. See, the problem which we teachers have faced is that we were always addressing a large gathering and we had a very limited time frame to complete our curriculum and syllabus, isn't it?
yeah,
So we just did not have a choice but to have a large gathering and their cameras would be off. Many of them would be attending on their smartphones. Only very few had access to computers and laptops.
yeah,
So we really could not enforce that they had to keep their cameras on.
yeah,
Initially, yes, they had that interest, but gradually, if you see,
yeah,
just imagine, sir, they are sitting within the four walls.
yeah,
Where are they connecting with this society?
yeah,
See, they have more fun when they get to sit along with their friends, they get to chat a lot, they get to eat a lot, they get to talk to their teachers. The teachers would keep motivating them a lot. See,
yeah,
I have taken both online as well as offline classes.
yeah.
Ask each one of us, we as teachers, how much of justice have we done in the online platforms? There was always a limitation. There
Yeah,
was always a limitation because we had to connect with 80 students. See, in my case, I was connecting with 80 students at a time, and God knows how many of them are actually listening to you. See,
yeah,
you are taking so much of efforts to prepare the PPT, show them the videos, and at the end of the day, on the other side, the student is not listening to you.
yeah,
This is something which all the teachers have faced. Sir, the only suggestion here is try to have a personal connect with each and every child, which may not be possible when it comes to 80 or 100 crowd. See,
mm,
but then you as a teacher, you will have to dedicate, probably you can conduct online quizzes, maybe give them some marks for the CIA exclusively for that. Punishment does not work. At the end of the day, they will say, sir, my internet is not working, you are not audible, I'm not able to hear you. These are the kind of excuses that they will say, which all of us have seen it. But at the end of the day, as teachers, we have to come out with different alternatives in order to make our classes interesting.
yeah,
Probably ask them questions in between, have some online quizzes, give them some points, probably have the best student for each day, each class, best student of the class, have something like that, which can make the digital learning more interesting. And
mm,
see, if you are able to connect with them, spend a little more extra time, and if you're able to connect with them on a one-to-one basis,
mm,
that would be the best solution.
yeah,
But again, we have our own limitations as teachers. You may not be able to connect with all the 30 students every day
true.
on a one-to-one basis, but then that makes a lot of difference, sir. So that is actually one of the major drawbacks of digital learning. I truly agree with you.
Yeah,
See, especially for the smaller children. See, for now, in my case, I am a research scholar. I am able to connect more with the digital technology because I'm able to do my research online. I'm able to do my data collection online. Statistical things are very easy now. With the help of Google Forms, my data collection is becoming very easy.
yeah,
But
yeah,
the smaller kids,
Yeah,
So it's something which has to be explained with a lot of demonstration, colors, videos, all of that. How much will you cover within a 30 minutes time class?
true. See,
It
we
is not
we
very
have students from fifth grade to 10th grade, for example.
right.
Fifth, sixth, even seventh seems to be all coming online, coming on camera. Eighth, ninth, 10th, difficult time. Hmm.
Sir, actually speaking, the fifth, sixth, seventh grade also, they
Yeah,
are coming online in front of the cameras because of the fear. They have a fear that their parents will question them or probably the teachers will catch hold of them. But at the end of the day, how many of them are listening to your class from the beginning till the end is a big question mark.
yeah, that's true.
That
So,
really cannot be possible, especially when we have a very limited time frame and we are also given a lot of pressure with the completion of the syllabus, examinations, and whatnot.
yeah,
So there is always a limitation here when it comes to the digital technology.
yeah,
But of course, see, as we mentioned during the presentation, a blended learning approach is very well required. They have to have the access of both offline as well as online platforms.
yeah,
That is the need of the hour now. You really cannot take it out.
yeah,
So a child who is in 12th grade, or maybe the one who is in the 10th grade,
yeah,
maybe he'll have n number of questions in his mind,
yeah,
and certain questions they might hesitate to ask in the classrooms. They
yeah.
might think, oh God, what will the teacher think about me? What will my friends think about me? I
Mm,
am feeling shy to ask such a silly question to the teacher.
mm,
That kind of a hesitation is there, especially in the teenage children now.
yeah,
My son's teacher, she keeps telling me, your son is not asking any doubts to me at all in the class because I know he's a very shy child. At
yeah.
the end of the day, the same child is going through the internet, Googling and finding out what exactly is a particular concept.
See, one of our girls, for example, she was not willing to come on the camera. So when we dug more into it, I think
Right,
Christina is here on the call with us here now. She's our social worker. So
right.
she talked to her, and after a lot of questioning, she said, "Ma'am, I'm actually a dark-skinned girl. I don't like myself on the screen, or my, I don't know, some friends might have told her something that, oh, you're dark-skinned or something like that. So she doesn't switch on the camera." But the
My God.
Christina had to talk to her and explain to her, how beautiful she is and all that. So now she's coming back on camera again. So anyway, this is just one little problem we are facing.
No, I truly understand, sir. Many children have that problem. Many children. They feel very inferior and they feel, what will the others think if they see me on the screen like this?
Yeah,
See, if you actually notice, there is another side of looking at it. Many of our children, they don't like passing us behind.
yeah,
Behind the screen, they will say, Amma, why is it that you're behind me? Don't you know that I'm attending a class? But at the end of the day, everybody, every family member is at home,
yeah,
isn't it? So somewhere or the other, and the limited amount of space that we all have at our homes, it
yeah,
is forcing us to move up and down.
yeah,
But then this is something probably their friends are making fun of them, saying, why is it that so many people are moving
yeah,
behind you?
yeah,
What is it that your mom is trying to communicate to you? Why is it that you haven't muted your audio?
yeah.
Likewise, there are a lot of inferior feelings in our children,
Mm,
which is really important that we speak to them, make them understand. I still recall one of my online teachers for my PhD work.
yeah,
He is probably in his late 50s. He
mm,
said, see, students, we totally understand. We are in this COVID world right now. You are living with your families. Your children might come behind you. They might keep troubling you because all of us who are doing our PhDs are in late 30s,
mm,
early 40s, maybe.
mm,
Your children would be coming behind you. Your husband might be yelling at you. It really does not matter.
mm,
We totally understand that you are at your homes and you have that space of yours.
mm,
So that is a kind of a feeling that we have to create in our children. There is no other way out, sir.
mm, mm. Yeah. Now, Nancy and Christina are here on this call. Do ladies have any questions for Mrs. Kamath? Nancy, anything?
Okay, sir, I
I
can see
feel
your
like
hand up.
hi,
Rajeshwari. Yes, Nancy.
hi everyone. Good evening.
Hi.
Yeah. So actually, I had same question was asked about the cameras. The students don't switch on their cameras, and I think you have given a good explanation, ma'am. Thank you so much.
And Nancy, it's also very important to make them feel very comfortable. Like,
Yes.
see, many students are being very conscious. See, one way to make it uniform, especially for the smaller children, is that let them have one color code for a day. Make it more interesting. Let them come, be very well neatly dressed, let them switch on their cameras, probably give them some points for that. Neatly dressed child, the one who is just woken up in the morning and straight away coming and sitting in front of your laptop, isn't it? All of us have faced that. They may not have brushed their teeth, they may not have eaten their breakfast, and they straight away come and sit in front of their laptops. It's okay, big deal. After all, they are at their homes. Make them feel comfortable. It's very important.
Yeah, actually, we see some of the students. We have early morning classes which starts from
Right.
6 o'clock. So
uh,
there, some students will be with their blankets on. And yeah,
It's okay. Just make them feel comfortable. It's okay. Just tell them, just because you're wearing your blanket, that doesn't mean that we are permitting you to sleep. You are here to attend your classes. It's important.
yeah.
See, one
Right.
Thank you.
advantage I have found with digital learning is also that we are able to connect with teachers from across the globe.
Yes,
Uh,
absolutely,
so
sir.
that has been an amazing achievement
Yes,
for us to be able to connect with people from across, and
true, true.
having to travel, to our school to come to teach the children, and it can be done from a
Very
distance.
true, sir. Now take the simple example of various webinars that we are getting to attend, seminars or conferences that we are getting to attend. This was not the scenario earlier. We used to have proper physical platforms, but
Yeah,
now everything is possible. Online presentations are possible,
yeah,
isn't it? We have made things possible now because we also have the mindset to learn the technology
yeah,
and getting adapted to it.
true,
Right.
true. Sorry, I'm taking up your time. Maybe others have questions. Sorry.
No, no, not at all, sir.
Rajeshwari had a question.
Hi, I'm Rajeshwari here. Yeah,
Hi,
so
Raj.
hi. So one issue I noticed, like, while teaching the younger kids is like you also pointed out, the writing skills, like the age when their learning starts and they also learn to write, that is the age. So that is taken beating, like, yeah, they take a lot of time to write. So how do we work on that when teaching digitally?
See, Rajeshwari, frankly speaking, especially for those kids, the younger children, toddlers,
Yeah,
3 to
yeah,
4 year children who just have to start writing. Probably they
yeah,
start with cursive writing. These days
yeah,
in school, they don't teach capital letters and small letters the way it used to be during our
yeah,
days. They straight away
yeah,
start with the cursive writing. So,
yeah.
frankly speaking, parents have to get involved. There is no other way out. There has to be some kind of a guidance from either the parents or the teachers. The teachers have to train the parents. Probably a session for the parents can be conducted on how to train your child, how to hold the
Okay.
pencils, how to do
Mhm.
the cursive writing, what is the methodology taught in the school. So let the parents support the children. See, ultimately, especially during COVID-19 timings, everybody is within the four walls. You really do not have a access to the student directly. The teacher does not have a physical access to the student directly. So definitely the parent has to get involved in the scenarios to help their child so that the child does not miss out on the education at the right time. So maybe some sessions for the parents can be conducted on how to teach them to write, what needs to be taught first, maybe starting with single letter words and then starting with the two-letter words, three-letter words, slowly, some kind of a training. Parents have to be trained first. Why are we blaming our children? It is important that we parents have to be trained first. So each
Yeah.
one of us, Rajeshwari, you might be having a child of the same age, probably, or maybe slightly older. Imagine if you were in the same scenario, how would you do it? You will be worried, oh God, how will I teach my child how to hold the pencil, how to start? Do I have to hold along with the child? You will have a number of questions in your mind. Schools have to take up some initiatives to train the parents on this aspect, without which they will not be able to support the children the right way.
Okay. Thank
Right.
you. Thank
So
you.
there has
Yeah.
to be, now most of the schools say this, they expect a lot of cooperation from the parents also. It is only after a certain age that the schools say, parents do not get involved, we will teach everything. No. Parents have to get involved. Both parents as well as teachers and the school authorities play a good role in shaping the child's life. I'm a person who believes like that.
True. True. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, Shubhalakshmi ma'am, you've raised your hand. You wanted to ask me something. Ma'am, you're not audible to us. Are you speaking? Saida, could you please help me on this? Are you able to hear ma'am speaking?
No, ma'am, we can't hear you.
Okay, ma'am, whatever is your query, it's okay if you can just post it in the chat box. That will also do. I will try and answer your query the best way possible. Okay, I think ma'am is unable to speak to us, Saida.
Subbalakshmi, ma'am?
Okay, I think ma'am is trying to figure out what can be done. Maybe she's typing a message in the chat box.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Radhika ma'am. I will leave now because it's 5 o'clock. To get I can't hear you. I think you're on mute, Radhika.
Oh, thank you so much, James sir. It was so nice of each and every one of you all. I can see a few members here. Uh, so nice of you all to drop in, to listen to my views on digital learning. And a big thanks to the Celery team for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, Saida, for connecting with me. And I will be in touch with you even in future. So hope you all have a great day ahead. Thank
Thank,
you all for joining us today.
thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It has been an immense pleasure, ma'am, to have you on our platform. Thank you for taking time off your busy schedule and engaging with us.